everyone, I am so thrilled to have you back today for this week's channeled message from my team of light. My name is Ashley Dawn and I would love to welcome you to my channel. This week my guides wanted me to share and discuss some information about oneness and the importance of self-unity, as they put it. So if this is something that is really interesting to you or exciting, please like and subscribe. I have had an unbelievable amount of positivity and comments and some really interesting people from all over the world, letting me know that this stuff is exciting and interesting to them, which really just lights up my heart and feeds my soul. So if this is something that interests you, please like and subscribe and even share this video as well. All right, without further ado, let's see what they have to say for this week. We would like to discuss oneness in hopes to bring you to a new level of understanding. There is a duality among all things, good and bad, light and dark, day and night. These descriptions are opposite, and you understand them well, yet neither is positive or negative. Both exist in balance, in harmony, and with each other. Each has a center point between the two, and this is true oneness. Oneness is recognizing that both sides have value, that you yourself have experienced both sides, and because of that, you have gained knowledge that allows you to find the center point. You have once been the victim and the perpetrator. You have experienced day and night and good and bad. Okay, so I love that they are, what they're setting up and what they're describing is that we have understood or have experiences of something like good and bad. And we have had to make mistakes or experience the bad and the good to understand them separately. And so we have kind of categorized them as such, right? But what they're saying is that in the bigger scheme of things, a bad experience isn't necessarily bad and a good experience isn't necessarily good. You have been taught these two ends of the spectrum, but where there is balance and unity and oneness is in the center, understanding that both had value for you at that time. Because after experiencing the good and the bad, you gained wisdom and knowledge and now can see the value of this whole experience. So you're getting a panoramic, like pull out kind of picture and view of this experience. Good, bad, ugly, everything in between. And when you find that center point is kind of what they're saying. This is the oneness they're talking about, okay? All right. We share this concept with you now to assist you with your personal healing work and growth. You must recognize the guilt, mistakes, and hurt you have once experienced is simply a lesson and a way to help you experience one of the sides of duality. This also helps you find the center or balance point. It is time to let go of the idea that one must be good over bad, or more left over right, or more feminine over masculine. Okay, so again, they're just saying that, we have these concepts that you have to be good or bad or feminine or masculine, and what they're saying is all of those have value. All of those make you whole, understanding both, right? And so they're saying, don't think of them as separate now. Try to find that center, equilibrium, balance point of it all. Okay, they also say, we ask you now to see each side as both valuable and find the center point between them. Weather is neither good nor bad. It simply is. The sun is neither good nor bad. It simply is. And every experience you've ever had is neither good nor bad. It simply is. It is a lesson. This is how you may gain a deeper understanding of self and how the entire universe works. Okay, so now you can see they were a little repetitive and kind of building it up here, but now you can see they're trying to paint this picture of once you understand all of that, you really understand yourself better, why you've made good and bad choices and decisions, why you've made some beautiful choices and crazy mistakes, right? And the more you understand self, the more you understand how the universe works, right? So they're talking about oneness and unity for self. But in understanding that, you are gaining a sense of oneness and unity with the collective, with the planet, with everything in the entire universe, right? So that's really, really cool. Okay. It is here, the center point, where one can find inner peace. This point is where you end up communicating to your higher self, your guides, and raising your vibration. Then, by raising your vibration, you raise the vibration for the collective. Realize the realm lines are blurring and the veil is lifting. You are becoming one with self. And every version of self, past, present, future selves. This oneness or unity of self is how you can heal through time and change your vibration in every life you've ever lived. Okay, so they brought this up last time a little bit too. They were talking about the more work you do right now because the veil is lifting, the realm lines are blurring, the rules are changing pretty much is what they're saying. And they're saying that if you do all of this shadow work and work on yourself, you can start to heal yourself at such a magnitude and such a rapid rate that you can heal yourself through time to the future version of you, to the past version of you, right? And that is huge and really powerful stuff. Okay, this part's really cool too. You must see yourself as whole and understand yourself as whole. You currently understand that you are a mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual being. The concept was originally to help you separate each part of self and give it a name. Just how one may study the heart, lungs, and brain separately at first, but once you've fully understood the importance of these organs, each separately, it is then you see how vital it is that they function together as a unit. So that is really cool. What they're saying is, we gave you these names and we separated parts of you all out, right? Your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, great. And then you've worked on all of them and you've healed all of those little parts and pieces of you. And as you do that, you are collecting your pieces and parts and becoming whole. And as you do that, your vibration is then raised, which then affects the entire universe and collective, right? Pretty amazing, right? Okay, here's another part. Part of your mission is self-work or shadow work. This work can heal every portion of self. This healing is vital. Only after portions, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, have been worked on, can you see that these portions are in fact not separate at all. As you heal, love, and respect each part of yourself, you merge into unity. This oneness is what allows you to connect to your guides and higher chakras. Okay, so again, they're saying the more work you do on self, not only the better you are, your light body, your soul through time, but you now have access to your higher level chakras, which is crazy. And I'll have to do another video on those because they have really been pushing me to do that. And I think this is their leading up to. So they've kind of planned the next video out for me. I can already tell. But the really interesting thing is they're talking about how vital this is right now, how vital it is to do that shadow work, do that inner work, look at some of those. And if you don't know the term shadow work, you can look it up. I'll give you a brief explanation right now. It is when you look at old situations or, traumas, old traumas, and you literally look at them and you're like, what lesson did I learn from this? And remember, it's neither necessarily good or bad. You learned something. You had these experiences experiences to gain wisdom, and whether it was good or bad, it had value. It taught you something. So it can't be all good or it can't be all bad, right? So they're saying, look at those, honor them. Don't be ashamed of them. Don't avoid them, right? It just causes and creates suffering. So honor them. Say, damn, I messed up, or wow, somebody was really, really hurtful to me. But they're saying when you recognize that, honor it and say, you know what, that really hurt me. However, how I'm going to heal is I will no longer continue to hold this power over me. I will no longer continue to hurt me. And so I am going to look at it, my shadow, and I'm going to say, thank you so much for the lessons that you've taught me. I am braver, smarter, wiser, whatever it may be. I have gained something, and I will keep that forever. However, I will cut ties from this situation or person, and I will no longer allow you to have that power over me, right? That's huge. So that's really the essence of shadow work, right? And it's a lot of self stuff. It's a lot of self meditation, a lot of self work, right? Okay, here's another little section. It takes a little, they kind of talk a little bit more about current situations, and then they kind of circle back, okay? So let me read this section for you. There will continue to be conflict and manipulation in your current time. As your vibration and the vibration of the earth shifts in a beautiful way, this can, however, bring great stress to those who are resistant and refuse to adjust to change. They are struggling to adjust to their own DNA changing, finding their center point, and even being grounded. This makes them feel like they need to go into a fight or flight mode. They may feel depressed, anxious, and even lonely. You too may feel this. However, remember to go within and ask yourself if these feelings are truly yours, or are you simply picking up on the emotions of others around you. Give those who are struggling right now love and light. They have free will choices and are simply stuck in a loop of choosing suffering. Okay, so let me explain that. They talked about there being conflict and manipulation in our current time. That's kind of, nobody's shocked there, right? They talk about our vibration and the earth vibration raising. We've discussed that already. In other videos even as well. And what they're saying is this part's very important. As our vibration is shifting, as the earth is shifting, right? They know that the earth gives off certain waves, and our brain waves match the earth, right? And I don't know if any of you guys have heard of like the Schumann resonance or anything like that, but the earth is putting off it's pumping out some serious waves right now. And those are affecting us, and we are affecting the earth. However, they're saying that as our vibration is rising as a collective, and that's beautiful, some people are resistant to this change. Some people are not kind of going with the flow. They're not allowing change happening. They're what was the words that they used? They said that they are refusing and resisting change. Now we know that change is huge. Change is the only constant we have. So if you're going to fight change, you're going to suffer and struggle your entire life, this lifetime, right? So what they're saying is have compassion for these people. They are having a hard time adjusting to their DNA. And I don't think it's any surprise to us, especially light workers, mediums, Reiki masters, those of you out there that, really tune in on a higher frequency here. It's very obvious to a lot of us that, some people are having a very difficult time adjusting to all this shifting, and they will have bouts of like this depression and anxiety and loneliness and outbursts and outrageous emotional reactions to things. You can tell they are not grounded. They are, not connected to the earth. They are really struggling. And so it's very clear to me in just everyday life. I mean, it's obvious, right? So they're saying, when you recognize that, when you see those people, send them love and light. They are really struggling. And until they choose to change instead of choosing to stay, if you're choosing to stay and not move forward, you're choosing suffering pretty much for yourself, which is a bummer, right? So send them love and light and encourage them energetically to, choose change, choose something better and greater for themselves, right? So that's a really powerful message too. Okay, here's the last little section. This is why self-work and oneness is absolutely vital right now. The more inner peace you have, the more truth finds you. Which I think that is another really powerful statement too. They're saying the more inner peace you have, the more you understand truth, the more you feel truth, the more you feel connected. You can't possibly feel anxious and depressed and lonely and all these emotions if you really are whole and you love and respect yourself. And that truth, you recognize it within yourself and you can see it within others or any situation. So they're saying the more at peace you become, the more truth finds you. You don't have to go searching and fighting for it, right? It just is revealed, which is really cool. All right. Now, this is interesting. The government will use a level system of color to perceive the level of threat in specific areas. These, again, are all distractions. Fear is a distraction from the truth. Fear is failure to understand reality. Fear was given to you for a survival mechanism, but you are shifting to a time of thriving, not simply surviving. You must look inward for the truth and guidance you seek, or forever be distracted by fear. Be aware that you have been fed many distractions, and these distractions will continue as they have clearly worked on the majority thus far. We simply ask you to focus on unity and oneness in the next several weeks to find inner peace and grow. And always, we send you love and light. So, wow, that last paragraph was a little heavy, right? I'm really, really interested in seeing what comes up in the next couple of weeks or months when they talk about the color systems. It kind of made me think of like when like a hurricane comes, or when there's some type of threat, the government will do like colors of like they'll use on the Weather Channel, they use colors of like how bad the storm's going to be and stuff like that. So that's kind of what the image that they were showing me. The other thing I love that they described fear like this. They said fear is a distraction from the truth. Fear is failure to understand your reality. And God, that is like preach right there, right? Because what they're saying is the more distracted you are, the further you are from the truth. The more distracted you are, the further you are from being whole. And if you don't check yourself, right, and recognize that, you will forever be distracted by fear and you will forever suffer. So they're kind of doing a little like psh, psh, across the face right now, like wake up, which, I think most of us can feel it, right? Most of us are like, oh, I know, I hear ya. But yeah, so I thought that was really, really kind of interesting and timing perfect and all that too. And again, they said, be aware that you have been fed many distractions, and these distractions will continue to continue because they have clearly worked on the majority thus far. Holy cow, is that not true as well? So what they're saying is basically, it's working. It's working. There's a relationship between being fed distractions and it erupting into fear. If you ignore the distractions and you don't erupt into fear, it doesn't work anymore. So it's kind of like, like bad behavior. If a dog acts out or a child acts out and you're like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. They recognize that every time I do this, I get attention. I like this, or I want to distract, right? And what they're saying is like, stop feeding that. Like, don't do that anymore. Stop getting so involved in the fear mentality. You're teaching them how to treat you. You're training them, what is appropriate and what's okay, right? And so it's almost like that abusive relationship mentality, right? And what they're saying is like, all you have to do is not allow that anymore. Say like to yourself and your guides, like, this is a beautiful vessel right here, and I love and honor it, and I won't allow that energy to interrupt this. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I got good music on in here all the time in my head. And, you know, I try to keep I call it my little bubble, right? My little happy place bubble. I really try to keep that positive, and I try to eat healthy and, you know, do all the things, right? And I'm not going to let others, you know, distract me so much to the point that I stray from that and just really feed into this fear, negativity, which lowers your vibration and lowers your immune system and all this kind of stuff, right? So anyway, I thought this was a really good one about oneness and fear. And they keep saying, like, this is why you do your shadow work. This is why the more whole you become, the more you start to see not just yourself as these pieces, but whole, and recognize everything you've ever done that was really stupid and everything you've ever done that was awesome. They have balance, right? They have balance. And so come into that center point where there isn't judgment on yourself, where you don't have to feel guilty about this stuff, or need to feed your ego. Like, ooh, look what I did. You know, get away from that. Don't hang out on these outside edges. Come more within and see the beauty of them both, and that they have a center point, right? So anyway, I want to leave you guys with that, because I think that was like the most powerful, positive piece of this. So again, if you guys thought this was incredible and interesting, please like and subscribe. I absolutely love your support. Again, I love sharing these messages with you all. I was asked to do so by my team of light, and so it just makes my heart so happy when I get comments or someone subscribes, because it just makes me feel like I am serving you guys and fulfilling my life's purpose. So I appreciate all the support. And of course, I send you love and light, my friends.